भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्ठिकी। ॐ ज्ञानातिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च कृष्णकरुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण विष्णुविके प्रभुपादाति प्रिय श्री गिरिराजाय स्वामिने सुभक्तरारास बिहारी ब्रह्मप्रिय स्वात्मदायिने। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण प्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नामे। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशकारिणे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरु दीनतारिणम्। हरे कृष्ण। All right, so let me just put it down. So we are reading. You're reading from Shrimad Bhagavatam, 10 to 6 text. 16, but we'll just revise. Huh? See, I think it's very important for all of us to study this. Prabhupada gave many, many lectures on the sixth canto because sinful desires are so much ingrained in that conditioned soul. We have come in this material world because of sinful desires. Now, how to deal with this, and how to uproot it, sinful desire, then how to deal with it when it comes up, right? And we are already seeing, how what's happening now with our Guru Maharajas, right? You're finding how they're struggling with the same problem, right? So what does Bhagavatam say about it? So let us study this. Okay, so anyway, here, I won't go in the beginning, but so different method was given. How to uproot, how to deal with sinful desires, how to deal with sinful reactions, right? So method number one was karmakan, meaning atonement, prayaschita. And Parikshit Maharaj said, what's the use? You admit your fault now, then again you do it. All right? So it's not sufficient. Then he spoke of jnana, meaning you should be aware, right? You should be conscious of, the dangers of material life, etc., etc., etc. But then even though you know, still you do it, right? It's not that you don't know. You know, but still you do it, right? So then he came to the point of, So he spoke of jnana and yoga, the system of yoga, which is mind and sense control. Spoke a lot about brahmacharya. Just see this whole list here. What is brahmacharya? Not think of women, speak about sex life, dally with women, look lustfully at women, talk intimately with women, decide to engage in sexual intercourse, endeavor for sex life, engage in sex life. Well, this is brahmacharya, meaning we should not do this. Control. Then, tapaha. So control mind and senses, giving charity, be truthful, clean, non-violent, follow regular principles, and regularly chant the holy name. So Prabhupada said this is what he has introduced in ISKCON. Brahmacharya. So, how strict we were. How strict we were when we joined the temple. How strict, there were girls and boys both in the ashram, in the temple. All this was strictly followed, very strictly followed. But then gradually, now with an expanding movement, then you find, the boys talking to the girls freely, right? The innocent girl doesn't know anything. The brahmacharya is supposed to talk to him, right? Or the sannyasi is not supposed to entertain the girls, right? They don't know. So Prabhupada discusses this in text 13 to 14. Then, in text 15, just see now. So this jnana and tapaha, austerity, the temporary, I have given it to you on your mobile, this whole notes. Temporary purification of all sins. Meaning for now it goes away, but through jnana and yoga. Meaning yoga meaning mind control, right? So much we control, and then one day you can't control, and then you indulge in all these sinful activities, right? So who can adopt? Now comes the point of devotional service, actual devotional service. So who can adopt complete and alloy devotional service to Krishna? So this text 13, let me check it. Text 15, 15, Kechit kevalya bhaktya. केचित् केवल्या भक्त्या वासुदेव परायणः अघं धुन्वन्ति कर्ष्णेय निहारम् इव भस्करः. Only a rare person who has adopted complete unalloyed devotional service to Krishna can uproot the weeds of sinful actions with no possibility that they will revive. He can do this simply by discharging devotional service, just as the sun can immediately dissipate fog by its rays. So here, Shukdev Goswami is giving an assurance. So he described all this and he said, but it's very rare. It's very rare that somebody actually is able to adopt complete unalloyed devotional service to Krishna. So speaking of why, even though there's no doubt that, somebody who is doing, like gurus, they are doing such enormous service, then how is it that they get caught? Inattention, right? Offense, in the 10 offenses, there is the inattentive chanting, right? This inattention, neglect, right? Neglect, or sometimes overconfidence, right? The overconfidence. But here, Shukdev Goswami is saying, only a rare person who has adopted complete unalloyed devotional service can uproot the ways of sinful action with no possibility that they will revive. There is no doubt that our Guru Maharajas, they are rare. There's absolutely no doubt about this, that they are rare. And they have adopted complete unalloyed devotional service to Krishna. So, analogy. So this is like the perfect analogy. Sun immediately, just like the sun dissipates the fog by its rays. So the root of sinful desire not destroyed in the heart of a person who is cultivating knowledge, who has no taste for devotional service, right? So for them, so if somebody is only cultivating knowledge and he doesn't engage in devotional service, sinful desires will reappear. But what we need to know, that this sinful desire is part and parcel of the conditioned soul, right? Like somewhere, I don't know, maybe Bhagavad Gita Prabhupada says, many stalwarts have fallen prey, right, to the onslaught of Maya. Why? He said, we are already fallen. Prabhupada explained this. So we are already fallen. So what's the big deal for Maya to catch us? Right? We are already fallen. So therefore, only a rare person, Kechit Kevalya Bhaktya, now we have to be so careful. We have to think that I'm not that rare, okay? I'm not that powerful, right? So better be very cautious. So there are different ways by which we can be caught. Dhanam, Janam, Sundarim, right? I become proud due to wealth, position, Dhanam, Janam, position, right? People are following me, praising me, right? Very, very risky. Because next birth, Krishna will make you na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, right? Krishna 100%, right? He will make sure all these things is zero. So So speculators, they undergo great labor to gain a meticulous understanding of the material world. Meticulous speculator, they undergo great labor to gain a meticulous understanding of the material world. So what do? I think I mentioned this last time. So they want to distinguish between sinful and pious activities. I gave the example of astrologers or karmakandiyas, right? So why sit astrologers? Because they want the remedy, right? So what do they do? Basically, this is what we are talking about here, right? When you take your Janma Kundli, you're suffering. Why you're suffering, right? There has to be some sinful activity that has been done in previous lives, life or lives, right? So then it fructifies as prarabdha karma. So there is suffering. So they will see it. So then they will talk about sinful activity and pious activity. So they meticulously they study the material world, so they distinguish between sinful and pious activities. But nobody, if you listen to any one of these astrologers, nobody tell you do bhakti, right? They'll tell you read this chalisa, that chalisa, you give this dan, you do this puja, wear this ring, whatever. Nobody tell you to do bhakti, right? They don't dare. Actually, they don't dare, any one of them, they don't dare chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Unless you come to a Hare Krishna temple, nobody will tell you this great secret. All right? And here Prabhupada is telling us, right? So they can't tell that to, because they are their clients, right? And the people say, okay, chant Hare Krishna, chant Hare Krishna, then you are not going to do any of my puja. You won't come for my consultation, right? Whatever it is. You won't take my advice. Yeah. So what do they do? So these people, they will, they're prone to material activities. So what happened to them? They're prone to material activities. And they may fall down and become implicated in fruitive activities. So while you are doing all this, atonement, etc., you create more trouble. Now, Prabhupada said the test of Krishna consciousness. Okay, this is very important. Test of Krishna consciousness. One attached to devotional service desires. So when one is attached to devotional service, desires for enjoyment automatically is vanquished without separate endeavor. All right, we don't have to do all these other stuff. And both sinful and pious activities become distasteful. Example is given of King Kulashekar, right? King Kulashekar. He was, I keep forgetting the story, but it's very interesting story. But he was, before that, he was a Brahmin, right? Before that, he was a Brahmin, and I think his father was caught in some court pandit, all this debate was happening. So that boy went in that court and defeated the court pandit. I've forgotten properly the story. Then he inherited Puhim. All right, Puhim. He inherited the kingdom of the king. Right? Just see.
Yeah, because he was so smart.
Yeah. He inherited that kingdom and Puhim. He started having what you just described, right? King Kulashekar, right? That's him? I think that's him. Yeah, he became so engrossed in sense enjoyment. Then his guru, that's him. I don't know who it is. Maybe that's him. Maybe I'm mixing up. Anyway, so then his gurus, sent for him, right? And they brought him back to Krishna consciousness. Then he came back to his original self. Then he said, since I have taken shelter of Mukunda, sex life has become distasteful. Right? So the tests of Krishna consciousness, both sinful and pious activities become distasteful. So why people commit pious or impious activities? So this section, text 15, Prabhupada explains, due to ignorance. My God. Due to ignorance. So how does bhakti relieve one of pious and impious activities? Say, even within ISKCON, right? Now, many different types of people are joining. Types, I mean that levels of spiritual development, right? So they are like mixed with pious and impious desires. And then there are those who are actually trying to be devotees. But even as we try to be devotees, all that baggage of sinful and pious desires are still with us. Right? It's not gone. Don't expect that, I put my foot in Krishna consciousness movement, Prabhupada's ISKCON, and immediately everything is happening. Process is starting, right? So how finally we give up the desire? Here the secret is given. When the Jeev accepts, I'm eternal servant of Krishna. Step number 1. And there is no need to act for personal sense gratification. So this is something very, very deep that I have no, actually, I must say that our leaders, they take huge risk, immense risk, because they have to deal with the material world. They are holding in their hands Maya, personified, Dhanam, Janam, Sundarim. They're holding like red hot iron in their hands. And it is natural that the inside desire for personal sense gratification may sprout. Natural. Therefore, they're heroes. They're actually known as heroes. They're not called fallen. They're heroes who got wounded. That's all. Right? So here Prabhupada is saying, a living entity. So how does bhakti relieve one of pious and impious activities? They accept. I mean, it's so beautiful whatever is explained in this section. We must go through it. So already no need to act for personal sense gratification. And they relish their attachment for pious and impious activities. They're interested only in what will satisfy Krishna. All right. Whatever decision you take, you're taking the decision that I want to do what satisfies Krishna. Right? So the process of bhakti is Vasudev Parayanaha. Process of bhakti relieves one from the reactions of all activities. Vasudev Parayanaha. So meaning that when we engage in devotional service, automatically we are relieved from the reactions of all activities. Catch it, only a few, but not all. Not everyone can become Krishna conscious. Why? No one can understand Krishna as he is, not through pious activities or attainment of the most elevated speculative knowledge. They are unintelligent, ignorant. They think they're Narayan. This is the speculators, philosophical speculators. They think they are Narayan. Now, purity of bhakti, devotional service. So what is this purity of bhakti? We have discussed all this. I'm just going through it briefly. So purity of bhakti is render transcendental loving service to the Lord, to the Supreme Lord Krishna, favorably, without desire for material profit or gain through fruitive activity. Anya bilasita shunyam, jnana karmadi anavritam. Then the effect of practicing pure devotional service. This is important. Kleshagni, all kinds of unnecessary labor or material distress cease entirely. All right? This is 100% sure for those who are engaged 24 hours in Krishna's service. Shubhada. So he attains good fortune. So a devotee, Konteya Pratita Janihi Name Bhakta Pranashati. A devotee who is taking risk for the Supreme Lord is Shubh. His life is Shubh. And Krishna picks him up. All right? Picks him up and heal all the wounds. Yeah. Shubhada. Moksha Laghuta Prit minimizes the importance of liberation. Why non-devotees undergo material hardships? Okay, so why I'm suffering? Why? Here the answer is given. Because they are prone to commit sinful, fruitive activities. Why do the desire to commit sinful actions continue? Due to avidya and three kinds of sinful activities: pataka, mahapataka, atipataka, which we discuss in 10 to 5. Now comes this section, Prarabdha. I think we didn't discuss that, right? Because it was too much, so we stopped. Yeah. So now come two divisions of sinful reaction. Prarabdha, meaning there is an immediate reaction. Immediate. So Prabhupada says, seen to take birth in low family or suffer from other miseries, like people criticize us, right? Our name is spread all over the internet, right? The name, I mean, you know what it is? This is actually the prashchita in bhakti. That person is getting free, all right? It's actually when his name is being put everywhere. Whoever criticizes this person takes the karma. This is what happens. Whoever opened the mouth and criticized this person, it goes to him. This is how the person becomes free from the sinful reaction. All right? There is a method of cleansing your pap by gossiping. When others gossip about you, right? So, aprarabdha, sources of potential suffering. Aprarabdha, this is where the whole problem comes, that it's not gone. We commit a sinful activity, but it's not gone. The desire is there. Oh my God. The desire is there. The desire is there. Bija, which is unseen. Seed is unseen. And suddenly it fructifies. It's unseen, unlimited. No one can trace when they were planted. All right? No one can trace when they are planted. But it's there in every single conditioned soul. Whoever has taken birth in this material world, dhanam, janam, sundarim, which manifests in the form of profit, distinction, and adoration. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta said this is subtle sex life. This profit, distinction, and adoration. It's a subtle sex life, and then it manifests as gross sex life. But power of devotional service. All phases of sinful life, prarabdha bija, are vanquished. Analogy: a blazing fire burns to ashes all fuel. A blazing fire burns to ashes all fuel. So this is bhakti. Now, how does devotional service vanquish the reactions of sinful life? Okay, how? hears by hearing and repeating the chanting of the glories of the Lord, by offering respect to Krishna, by remembering Krishna, by seeing you directly. So that's why, see, in our movement, when we see, this is Nectar of Devotion, whatever we are studying here, summary is given in Nectar of Devotion. So this section about Prayaschitta is there, atonement. So there, Srila Rupa Goswami explained based on this, that if a devotee commits an abominable activity, he doesn't have to go anywhere to be free from it. Right? I'm thinking of Bilva Mangal Thakur. Right? So many are there. Bilva Mangal Thakur. Right? It's not a joke to become free from sinful desires. Right? So here, what should we do? Just remember Bilva Mangal Thakur. He's our perfect example. What did he do? Hearing and chanting, right? Hearing and chanting, offering respect, right? Remembering Krishna, right? And then he was just seeing Krishna. So when he became blind, Krishna came. All right? Krishna came. So even if we slip and fall, Krishna comes and picks us up. This is the Prayaschitta. We don't have to do anything else. It's just we've been thoroughly humiliated. All right? We've been thoroughly humiliated. Some problem, some inattention, something has gone somewhere wrong. Right? Then Krishna put us flat on our nose. But what to do? Here it's given, just said. Now, there are 4 phases of sinful reaction. 4 phases of sinful reaction. Number 1, kutam, meaning ready to produce results immediately. Kutam, meaning that it's just there. It's like the disposition to commit the sinful activity. In form of seeds, beach, we just read unlimited. They are sitting, in the heart. Sometimes they say, in the body, you don't know how many diseases are stored there. Right? You haven't seen it, but the seed is sitting there and then saying, oh, what happened? I've got a boil. Right? Then, unmanifested or dormant. So, seed is there, but aprarabdha, meaning that either, see, when we are speaking of karma, we are speaking either of karma phal, or we are speaking of the karma itself, meaning you don't know when you may suddenly wake up like Kumbhakaran, right? Kumbhakaran, very nicely 6 months he's sleeping, right? And you don't know when somehow he wakes up. So it's there inside. And current. So 4 stages of sinful reactions. So what is ignorance? Avidya, bijam, papam. Alright? I don't have my board, but maybe you remember, right? Avidya, bijam, papam. Papam has 2 effects. One is prarabdha, immediate, and the other one is aprarabdha, meaning that it deposits itself in our consciousness. When we commit a pap or punya, it deposits itself in our consciousness. And then what happens? It creates kutam. Alright, it's a whole cycle. This aprarabdha has another division. It becomes kutam, meaning you get a taste for it. You get a taste for it. When somebody engages in illicit affairs, Prabhupada explained this. Why is it that there has to be viva samskar? Because in viva samskar, it purifies the mind. Right? It purifies the mind so that we can control the mind and senses. When there is no viva samskar, that sex desire is very raw. It's like being an animal. It's very raw. And therefore we become irresponsible. So now kutam. Kutam. So it has become a psyche in us. And then bija. Bija meaning that it's now, meaning that, see, it's subtle. Kuta meaning is a disposition. Bija means that it has actually formed. It's actually formed. And given the opportunity, we will do it papam. Remember? Papam comes, a prarabdha, then aprarabdha becomes kutam. Kutam will deposit into bijam, and bijam means 100% you're going to do it. Right? So that's why children should not smoke. Become a habit. That habit is that kutam. Right? And you can't break it. Right? Smoking, drinking, taking drugs meaning they're going to die. Now here, so this is where we reached. Yeah, so now, so what is this ignorance? Avidya, we said, no? It all started with avidya. This avidya, I'm actually remembering Bhakti Charu Swami, telling us all this. He's saying that avidya is that madness of thinking I can be the enjoyer. I can be the... Because all of us, as soon as we've learned this by heart, was that avidya, bijam, kutam, etc. I said, but what is before avidya? Quoted our attention. What is before avidya? This craziness that I can be the enjoyer. So here it says, forgetfulness of one's constitutional position as an eternal servant of God. I forget who I am. Right? We are let loose in this material world to enjoy and exploit this material world. So stage of full Krishna consciousness. The stage is big. When I realize, I accept. Well, number one is accepting that I'm Krishna's eternal servant. So this is our good luck. Now bhakti in two divisions. So now let us read this. See, I won't be able to read in the purport because it's like so... Which text am I reading? Is it 15 or 16? Did I jump to 16? 16, no? Right, 16. No, I'm still on 15. I'm still on 15. I didn't touch 16 at all. So let me see. Yeah, and last paragraph. So in this regard, Srila Jiva Goswami comments that bhakti may be divided into two divisions. Santata, devotional service that continues incessantly with faith and love. And then kadachitki, devotional service that doesn't continue incessantly but is sometimes awakened. Incessantly flowing devotional service, santata, may also be divided into two categories: service performed with slight attachment and spontaneous devotional service. So these are two, meaning that even when I am constantly engaged in devotional service, but one, I'm doing it with a little attachment only. And the other one, I'm actually attached. Spontaneous devotional service. Like Vaidhi and Rag. Vaidhi sadhana bhakti and Raga Nuga sadhana bhakti. Intermittent devotional service, kadachitki, meaning sometimes, may be divided into three categories. Raga bhasamai, devotional service in which one is almost attached. Raga bhasa shunya swarup bhuta, devotional service in which there is no spontaneous love but one likes the constitutional position of service, like so many of us, right? You just look among our congregation, right? It's completely describing here. You said, please come and do seva. Yes, yes, Maharaji, today, tomorrow, this day, that day, one day come and next day disappear. All right, intermittent. And others, yeah, now, they have no spontaneous love, meaning that if they have other priorities, they will give priority to it. All right? So, there is no spontaneous love, but one likes the constitutional position of serving. And abhasa rupa, a slight glimpse of devotional service. So, see, Prabhupada hasn't given in full detail all this, but he has just mentioned it. But in other places, like the Sandarbhas, all right, all this will be described in detail. And in other places also, surely. But Prabhupada gives simply abhas, a glimpse of devotional service. Like they give donation, right? Or they come for a festival, or they bow down before the deities, or they shed a few tears also sometimes, right? And you are catching on this, isn't it? You're really, who's a candidate? You're catching on these points. Now, Srila Bhakti, Prabhupada, okay, no, I think it's Srila Jiva Goswami. So, as for atonement, if one has caught even a slight glimpse of devotional service, all needs to undergo prashchita atonement are superseded. Therefore, atonement is certainly unnecessary when one has achieved spontaneous love, and above that, attachment with love, which are signs of increasing advancement in kadachitki. Even in the stage of abhas rupa bhakti, all the reactions of sinful life are uprooted and vanquished. Srila Jiva Goswami expressed the opinion that the word karnsneya means that even if one has a desire to commit sinful actions, the root of the desire are vanquished merely by abhas rupa bhakti. The example of Bhaskara, the sun, is most appropriate. The abhasa feature of bhakti is compared to twilight, and the accumulation of one's sinful activities is compared to fog. Since fog does not spread throughout the sky, the sun need do no more than merely manifest its first rays, and the fog immediately disappears. Similarly, if one has even a slight relationship with devotional service, all the fog of his sinful life is immediately vanquished. Not so proper, like that includes all of us. All right? Whoever has come forward, who doesn't matter, we just saw now, even a glimpse of devotional service, doesn't matter, from the topmost to the most neophyte, if they have stepped in the realm of bhakti, if they commit some sinful activity, they deviate from the practices, like breaking regulatory principles. Here we are speaking of sinful activity. We are not speaking of aparad. Aparad is something very serious. All right? Something very serious. This is sin. All right? So here, Srila Jiva Goswami said, you don't need to do any prashchita. You don't have to run and go and see an astrologer, right? And give me the remedy. See, devotees have to be convinced of this. Okay, you can go show what happened when the time will be over, and everybody will tell you you can't control the planets. The graha, they've caught you, they've recorded because it's automatic. What is not automatic is Krishna is looking at you. All right, my Guru Maharaj keeps explaining this point. He said that the laws of nature are automatic. And Prabhupada says, like a computer, record gone. Are you able to reason with a machine? No, it's a recording machine. But Krishna is for you. Alright? So when we are chanting, alright? When we are hearing, when we manmana bhava mad bhakto madhya jivam namaskuru, right? Krishna is saying, here's my child. This is exactly what's going to happen to a Jamil. Exactly. Now the account will be given, story of Ajamil, right? So Prayaschitta, if we commit some sinful activities, then we must at all costs take shelter of Krishna. All right. Okay, I think that's sufficient, no? Hmm? It's sufficient. My phone is Bajra. Bajra hai my phone. Okay, we have 15 minutes more. Should we do 16? Okay. Yeah, it's ringing. What can I do? It's ringing. Yeah. Text 16. Nattatha hiya rajan puyeta tapa adhibihi.
He can completely he can be completely purified. One cannot be purified merely by undergoing austerity, penance, brahmacharya, and other methods of atonement. I have previously described. Purport: that Purusha refers to a preacher of Krishna consciousness, such as a spiritual master. Sri Narottam Das Thakur has said, Chhadiya Vaishnava Seva Nistare Payeche Keva. Without serving a bona fide spiritual master, an ideal Vaishnava, who can be delivered from the clutches of Maya. This idea is also expressed in many other places. Srimad Bhagavatam 5.5.2 says, Mahat Sevam Dwaram Ahur Vimukte. If one desires liberation from the clutches of Maya, one must associate with a pure devotee Mahatma. A Mahatma is one who engages 24 hours daily in the loving service of the Lord. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 9.13, Mahatma Nam Sur Mam Partha Devim Praktimashuta Bhajante Anane Manso Gyatva Bhutadim Avyayam. O son of Partha, those who are not deluded, the great souls, are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. Thus, the symptom of a Mahatma is that he has no engagement other than service of Krishna. One must render service to a Vaishnava in order to get freed from sinful reactions. Revise one original Krishna consciousness and be trained in how to love Krishna. This is the result of Mahatma Seva. Of course, if one engages in the service of pure devotee, the reactions of one's sinful life are vanquished automatically. Devotional service is necessary not to dry away an insignificant stock of sins, but to awaken our dormant love for Krishna. As fog is vanquished at the first glimpse of sunlight, one's sinful reactions are automatically vanquished as soon as one begins serving a pure devotee. No separate endeavor is required. The word Krishna Arpita Prana refers to a devotee who dedicates his life to serving Krishna, not to being saved from the path not to being saved from the path to hellish life. A devotee is Narayana Parayana or Vasudev Parayana, which means that the path of Vasudev or the devotional path is his life and soul. Narayana Para Sarvena Kutaschina Bibhate. Bhagavatam 6.17.28. Such a devotee is not afraid of going anywhere. There is a path toward liberation in the higher planetary system and a path towards the hellish planets. But a Narayanapara devotee is unafraid wherever he is sent. He simply wants to remember Krishna whenever he may be, wherever he may be. Such a devotee is unconcerned with hell and heaven. He is simply attached to rendering service to Krishna. When a devotee is put into hellish condition, He accepts them at Krishna's mercy. Tatya Anukampam Susumikshamana Bhagavatam 10.14.8. He does not protest, "Oh, I am such a great devotee of Krishna. Why have I been put into this misery?" Instead, he thinks, "This is Krishna's mercy." Such an attitude is possible for a devotee who engages in the service of Krishna's representative. This is the secret of success.
Now let's examine this. Huh? So, the first thing is Tat Purusha, the path followed by pure devotees who are well behaved. My dear king, if a sinful person engages in the service of a bona fide devotee of the Lord and thus learns how to dedicate his life unto the lotus feet of Krishna, he can be completely purified. One cannot be purified merely by undergoing austerity, penance, brahmacharya, and the other methods of atonement I have previously described. So the secret of success is, yes, taking shelter of a spiritual master. So again I come, to when preachers, they run into difficulty, right? Very appropriate here. Meaning we already have a past, right? Remember, Prabhupada says, why is it that we commit sinful activities? Out of habit. We've done it so many lifetimes, we've done it, right? It doesn't go away so easily. But when we are a preacher in Krishna consciousness, the mercy is unlimited because we are working on behalf of the Guru, right? The preacher is working on behalf of the Guru, right? He's taking huge risk, right? So here says that purification doesn't happen by undergoing austerity, penance, brahmacharya, or other methods of atonement, right? It doesn't go. So how does it go? One must take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master, right? And learn how to dedicate his life unto the lotus feet of Krishna. So here Prabhupada is speaking about Mahat Sevam Dwaram Ahur Vimukte. If one desires liberation from the clutches of Maya, one must associate with a pure devotee Mahatma. Who is a Mahatma? Who's engaged 24 hours daily in loving service to the Lord. So this person is they're not deluded. They are under the protection of divine nature. So the preacher is always under the protection of divine nature, right? And remember that this divine nature is of two types. One is Mahamaya and one is Yogmaya, all right? One is Radharani and the other one is Durga Devi. So it's always, you don't know which one, may catch us, right? So the Mahatma, he is always under the benevolent eyes of Srimati Radharani. This is from Nectar Instruction. Prabhupada explained this verse in great depth. How this preacher, he is under, that's why we say Guru is representative of Srimati Radharani, divine energy, right? But we may slip and Mahamaya catches, but very fast. So who are those Mahatma? They're fully engaged in devotional service. They have no other engagement. Their intention is only to serve Krishna. And they know me as the Supreme Person of Godhead, original and inexhaustible, meaning they have accepted that Krishna is the Supreme Person of Godhead. He is the only Ishvara and everybody else is Bhritya. We are all servants. There's one Bhartu, right? and everybody else is Britya. They are maintained by the Bhartu. So, what is the effect of rendering service to a Vaishnava? One gets freed from sinful reactions. Right? Secret. When there is a fall down, okay? Secret is that you have to pick yourself up, plain and simple. All right? Don't remain fallen. Admit your fault in public. Humiliate yourself in public. This is the process given in Shastra. Let the sinful people criticize you and take the sin. All right? And you become free. This is given in Chaitanya Bhagavat. When Jagai and Madai. So everybody knows Jagai and Madai. Everything they've done, right? So when they took Diksha, so Mahaprabhu gave them Diksha and his golden body became black. Right? Yeah, he took the sin, because Diksha means you transfer, right? The sinful reaction goes to Mahaprabhu's golden body. His body became black. And then it left his body. He won't hold it. He won't hold it. Then it left his body. And when he left the body, do you know where it went? It went in the bodies of blasphemers. Can you imagine people like Jagai and Madai? Doesn't have a speck of fame in their name, right? People like Jagai and Madai, such sinful activities, Mahaprabhu sent it on the bodies of blasphemers. So it's a spiritual science, but it is a protection for the devotees. It's an assurance of success, a protection, a comfort for the devotees, because we can't swear, to be without faults, without sinful desires. Yeah. What is the effect of rendering service to a Vaishnava? One gets freed from sinful reactions. So I have described how we become free from it. So meaning when we slip, we pick up, and the sinful reactions go to blasphemers. And we revive one's original Krishna consciousness. See, our sinful desires, remember bija, right? They sprout and they become manifest, they go out. You are becoming one bij less, na? Isn't it? Meaning that you're reviving our original Krishna consciousness and trained in how to love Krishna. Then Prabhupada, this is from Nam Chintamani, Harinam Chintamani, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and what's this? Haridas Thakur. He described that actually a real effect of devotional service is not to remove sinful reaction. This happened by Namabhas. Slide. Remember we spoke of Abhasa Rupa, etc., etc. Yeah, meaning that even slight chanting of the holy name will remove all these. The real effect of devotional service is that we awaken our dormant love for Krishna. Remember, see, like all my gurus, their instruction are in my brain, in my memory card, okay? So when I read something, I see them and I remember what they said. So Bhakti Shari Swami told us that, what is that avidya? It is that illusion that I am the bhokta, I am the enjoyer. So when finally you are chanting, etc., etc., when finally you accept and you start to love Krishna, meaning you don't compete with Krishna. Why is it that marriages break? Husband and wife, they don't love each other, they compete with each other, right? As soon as they fall in love, there's no marriage break. the very first symptom of why there is, of lack of love, it is broken marriages. All right? So if we love our husband, we accept that. Let him be the superior one. He's not the ultimate bhokta, okay? But let him be the superior one. I'm giving different types of tips, okay? So then no separate endeavor is required to become free from sinful reaction. Meaning, if you're in love with your husband, you're not going to commit adultery, right? No sinful activities. Krishnarpita pranaha, or the other way around. The husband is in love with the wife, right? He will not commit adultery. Krishnarpita pranaha, a devotee who dedicates his life to serving Krishna. Yes, a devotee. Let me read it. Where is it? Who is this person? Who is Vasudeva Parayanaha? He's not practicing devotional service because he's afraid of going to hell. Such a devotee is not afraid of going anywhere. All right, so out of fear, I worship Krishna. If I don't worship Krishna, I may fall in hell. No, Vasudeva Parayanaha. That's why, you cannot compare these Guru Maharajas. What they have done, they have gone to hell for the sake of Prabhupada's mission. They have nothing less than hell. They have put their lives in danger. They can be caught and killed. Right? So, they are all glorious. There is a path towards liberation in the higher planetary system and a path towards hellish planets. But a Narayana Para devotee is unafraid wherever he is sent. He simply wants to remember Krishna wherever he may be. Such a devotee is unconcerned with hell and heaven. He is simply attached to rendering service to Krishna. When a devotee is put into hellish condition, he accepts them as Krishna's mercy. Yes. So, if anything happens, right, and we are in difficulty, then the devotee, like Prahlad, what does he do? He just folds his palms and he says, Tattenu kampam shishamikshamanu. He doesn't protest, oh, I'm such a great devotee of Krishna. Why have I been put in this misery? Instead, he thinks, this is Krishna's mercy. This is Krishna's mercy due to past misdeeds. What's the full verse? Tattenu kampam susamikshamanu bhunjana evatma kritam vipakam, right? So he says, Ridvag vapur bhir vidhanam namaste. What does he do? He says, due to my past sinful activities, I am now in this position. He doesn't think, oh, so much devotional service I have done. Why are people looking at me, criticizing me, or doing this and that? He doesn't think that way. He says, this is Krishna's mercy. This is Krishna's mercy. All right. And such an attitude is possible for a devotee who engages in the service of Krishna's representative. Meaning only when you are serving Guru Maharaj, right? When something happens along the way, then you can have that attitude, right? Because nobody can claim that they haven't done mistakes, especially if you're a leader. You're in a very, very difficult situation, very difficult position, right? They are easy targets, super easy targets. They actually hunted out as targets. They're actually hunted out as targets. Such an attitude is possible for a devotee who engages in the service of Krishna's representative. This is the secret of success. All right. Hare Krishna. Such a deep purport. Huh? All right. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Oh my God, what happened now?